the roots of rebellion, from innocence to injustice. Early struggles. Malcolm Little grew up in a world scarred by racism and poverty. His father, a proud activist, taught self-respect, but violence and hate shadowed their every step. Loss and anger. After his father's tragic death and his mother's breakdown, young Malcolm's family was torn apart. Bitterness took root where hope used to be, shaping his early identity, life on the streets. As a teen in Boston and Harlem, Malcolm reinvented himself as Detroit Red. Charm, style, and hustle became his armor against despair in the glimmering city lights. Crime and consequences, the fast life, turned dangerous. Gambling, drugs, and theft pulled him deeper into the underworld until his arrest ended it all. Handcuffs snapped shut in slow motion. Facing the void, sitting behind iron bars, Malcolm confronted his choices. For the first time, silence surrounded him, forcing a painful introspection. It was within the confines of prison walls that a remarkable awakening began. He embarked on an intense journey of self-education and discovery. He devoured books, expanding his vocabulary and understanding of history, philosophy, and the systemic issues facing his community. His mind, once constrained, began to break free. The prison bars, though physically present, could not contain his burgeoning intellect. This period also marked his introduction to the Nation of Islam, a movement that offered a new path, a new identity, and a powerful message. Guided by Elijah Muhammad's teachings, Malcolm embraced principles of self-discipline, racial pride, and the pursuit of black empowerment. He underwent a profound personal and spiritual rebirth, shedding his past and adopting the name MalcolmX, symbolizing his lost ancestral name. Upon his release, Malcolm X emerged not just as a free man, but as a transformed individual, ready to dedicate his life to a cause. He quickly became a passionate and articulate voice for the Nation of Islam, beginning to address small, eager crowds. His powerful rhetoric and unwavering conviction resonated deeply, drawing larger and larger audiences with each passing speech. Malcolm X was a charismatic leader whose words awakened the oppressed and challenged the deeply entrenched racial injustices of his time. His speeches were not just words. They were calls to action, igniting hope and demanding change across the nation. This powerful advocacy quickly earned him national attention, making him a prominent figure in the civil rights discourse. He became a subject of both admiration and intense scrutiny, his every word analyzed by supporters and detractors alike. As Malcolm X's fame and influence grew, so too did the complexities within the Nation of Islam leadership. Tensions began to mount as his independent voice and growing popularity sometimes diverged from the established hierarchy. These internal struggles hinted at the profound ideological shifts that would continue to define his extraordinary journey. This period of his life, from incarceration to national prominence, laid the groundwork for his later, even more radical transformations. Malcolm X begins to see inconsistencies between its teachings and the behavior of its leadership. The man who once stood as the movement's most powerful speaker now feels betrayed by its hypocrisy. In March 1964, Malcolm makes his boldest move yet. He announces his departure from the Nation of Islam. It's a moment of courage and clarity, a complete break from the group that once defined his life. Free from institutional bonds, Malcolm sets out on a new quest, a spiritual pilgrimage, the Hajj to Mecca. There, amidst millions of Muslims dressed identically, he witnesses something miraculous. People of every race and nationality praying together in perfect harmony. It is in this sacred place that Malcolm experiences revelation. His long-held beliefs in black separatism collapse before the truth of a universal brotherhood. He sees that racism is not inherent. It is taught and can be unlearned through faith and understanding. He writes home moved by what he calls the spirit of unity. This moment transforms him forever. Upon returning to America, Malcolm adopts the name El Hajj Malik El Shabazz. With renewed purpose, he establishes two new organizations, Muslim Mosque, Inc., and the Organization of Afro-American Unity. Each reflects his evolving vision. Faith aligned with action, justice rooted in humanity. His message expands beyond race and borders. Malcolm now speaks in terms of human rights, framing the struggle of African Americans as part of a broader global fight for equality. He urges audiences to see the connection between freedom in Harlem and justice in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. Yet, as his worldview broadens, so do his enemies. Former allies see him as a threat. His leadership and bravery put him in constant danger, but Malcolm refuses to retreat. On February 21st, 1965, Malcolm X is assassinated while preparing to speak to his followers. The moment silences his voice, but not his message. A man who stands for nothing will fall for anything. His legacy endures as a symbol of truth, transformation, and unwavering courage. Malcolm X's journey reminds us that even in the face of danger, the courage to evolve can change the course of history. In his short life, Malcolm X redefined what it meant to fight for justice. He transformed from a street hustler to a minister, from a voice of anger to a global symbol of truth and human rights. Through his journey, he built movements, inspired millions, and taught the world that change begins with courage and the willingness to evolve. His message still echoes today. By any means necessary, seek truth, unity, and justice. Hit subscribe and tap the notification bell so you don't miss the next biography that inspires greatness. Thanks for watching.